like. Oh, from your okay, actually. Shalom. No, he said it. Yeah, I mean like.
A lot of times they act so brave, they don't want to be seen. And then when they start acting up, then they put their souls on the camera. Like what happened to that one day.
That's a big thing among sticks. They don't want that's why they don't want to do this work, because they don't want it to see. And that's what it means to preach. You have to make public. If you're gonna be a herald, you gotta be out to say it.
Yeah, so they're going back on the world, right? And it's no different than the one that hide in the darkness.
Yeah. Alright, shalom. Alright, imagine what on your heart now. Alright, Kahalayimla, Allahayanawa,
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahusha, Bahashem, Kakodash.
Alright, once again, say shalom. Give double honors, Pastor Elder Millstone, shalom. See your brothers out there teaching truth and sincerity. Alright, with the Hebrew Israelites, back out here once again, prophesy the downfall of Esau's kingdom, and to bring remembrance unto the children of Israel, which consists of so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Alright, to bring us back to our power, which is Yahweh. Alright, to our Lord, Yahawashi. So it's Yahweh, Bashim, Yahawashi. Yahweh means he is. Bashim means in the name. Yahawashi means he saves and he delivers. Alright, so the one that this camp session is edifying unto your brothers out there and exhorting unto your brothers. We're going to start off the lesson with mainly the topic around, though willing, I don't want to represent, around prophecy and the good news, because that's a big thing that's happening with the brothers, at this moment, the spirit amongst the brothers. But prophecy is a big thing in this truth when it's going with the good news. All right, the good news and the prophecies, they go hand in hand together, because the prophecies are like a checkpoint, getting closer and closer to that news that was spoken. And good news in itself is prophecy, because that news is for a foretold kingdom. All right, that's going to be established by Yahawashi on down. All right, by Yahweh Bashim Yahawashi. So there was a scripture that actually talks about that. What is it? You put that established. No, not established. Whatever. It's what it was like I don't remember the location of the precept, but it was the people they were saying that they're asking Yahawashi, is he going to establish the kingdom now? It was that, but I'll just roughly paraphrase. But yeah, so let's hit up some prophecy. Because the thing that's happening right now in the news with the food shortage and the blackouts that's going to happen. The heat is going to cause blackouts. And the famine that's going to happen, and the drought and everything like that. That's good news to us. That's good news to the true worshipers of Yahweh Bashim Yahawashi, because that draws the kingdom that was promised closer and closer. You know, and our faith is being lively because we see these prophecies happen. So we get 2nd Ezra chapter 15. I'm gonna get a little bit of 16 as well. Bumper, so somebody get Habakkuk the 2nd chapter and just hold it. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 1. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Because in these last days, just as it's foretold, that in these last days shall come scoffers, walking after their own lusts." You know, because somebody want to get second Peter chapter 2. We're gonna jump. All right, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, and there a little. Somebody got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. So just hit that up. Start at 1.
This is 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "But there were false prophets also among the people."
No, 2 Peter chapter 3. Slide. Because you will know who the true prophets are according to prophecy. That's good. Which the prophecies that they're speaking and seeing it come to pass. That's how you're going to know who the true prophets are, ultimately.
This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "This second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you in both which I stir up your pure minds by the way of remembrance."
And that's what the brothers are out here to do. You know, also to store up our pure minds by the way of remembrance, so that we can always remember while we're doing this work and that we establish our faith upon. All right, because there's a lot of incredulity amongst these people. Their unbelief will try to waver you in. Yeah, you continue.
It says that ye may be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets, and of the commandment of us, the apostles of the Lord and Savior. It says, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts.
Yeah, and especially in these times, because there's a lot of scoffers, because they have incredulity. Incredulity means unbelief, right? They're faithless people. Because they think right now is peace and safety, because there's nothing happening. All right, but famine, drought, and everything is going to be coming here. Death and destruction, pestilence. You know, it's going to hit this land the hardest, the land of America, but ultimately the entire world. But it's going to hit here the hardest, because this is Babylon the Great. This is the daughter of Babylon. You know, and you can tell it's the daughter of Babylon by her works. All right.
That's the good news.
Yeah, and the good news is the destruction of this kingdom, ultimately. So all of these prophecies, they go hand in hand with the good news. All right. The end of a rulership of one kingdom and the beginning of a rulership of another. Continue.
It says, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts, and saying, where's the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continued as they were from the beginning of creation.
Yeah, because there's certain men that they lost faith because they've been in here for a very, very long time, and nothing's happened. You know, continue.
It says, for this they willingly are ignorant of that.
Especially the people of these worlds. Of this world, because we constantly keep saying the same thing every single week. You know, we constantly say the same thing every single week. But we're going to continue to say it until it comes to pass, because we understand that Yahawashi word does not go back to him void, and it will accomplish to that which he sent it.
says, for this they willingly are ignorant of.
They're willingly ignorant.
That by the word of Yahweh the heavens were of old, and the earth the standing out of the water and in the water. This is whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment. And Slacky, give me a second. Yeah. I just stopped at a word. I don't know how to say it.
Wait, what? Because he stopped in mid-verse. Just try to say it.
Okay, I'll read it again. Slack it. It says, but the heavens and the earth, which are...
You two, don't stay idle. Read it together as well. I don't know what he's reading. He's reading 2 Peter chapter 3.
Okay, this is, but the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men.
Perdition?
Yeah, I had a brain fart.
Repeat it again.
But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of the ungodly men. It's just... yeah. Yeah.
It's perdition, bro.
I just said that.
It sounds like you're saying perdition. I don't know. Just say it again.
He said.
I actually say it.
Right.
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. It says, but the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment, the perdition of ungodly men. So all of these men out here, all of the incredulity of these people, just as Yahawashi says, he says they have their reward. They have the reward already. It's because they were already reserved. Their reward is death by fire. By death by fire. You know? So we men out here, when we come out here, we have to understand that all these bug outs and all these people that come against us and stuff like that, they have the reward. They have the reward already reserved for them. And their reward is death by fire. Alright? And these people are willingly ignorant of the fact that the end is literally right around the corner. This world does not have long. It doesn't have long. You know? And just as the scriptures say, salvation is nearer than we believed. You know, because we may not even have like 5 years here, maybe not even 4. You know, but we have to continuously do this work and let not the incredulity of these people that don't believe falter our faith. Because we have to. Actually, I think it continues.
It says, but beloved, be not ignorant of this.
Listen to this.
It says, but beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day.
Yes, so the apostles and elders, they've been out here for a very long time in our perspective. But in the Most High perspective, they have not been out here for long. You know, but the prophets are going to be out here for a small amount of time. And 30 years is a tiny, tiny amount of time. Right? And just like what the scriptures say, it says, we are not worthy to be, the afflictions that we suffer now are not worthy to be compared to what shall be revealed in us. You know? Because it's a It's a short affliction, small.
And to elaborate more, these prophecies are coming to, to pass. And that goes for anybody that is true. Any Israelite. Listen, this is true. The prophecy ain't going to wait for no one. The prophecy is going to keep going. It's going to keep coming.
That's why we lay behind our good works. So like when Yahawashi comes back, that he can see our diligence and our faith through our works. That's why it says for them what's it? Because endured my patience. He says my patience.
The word of another scripture called the word of.
Remember the shadow of the camera. Remember the shadow of the phone.
Yeah, I stopped picking up as much audio, so I can y'all voices are very dim.
Because he kept the word of our faith. The word of my faith.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna read this first. This is Isaiah 55 and 10. For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and make it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower, and bread to the eater. So shall my words be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it.
And that goes twofold for the promise that he's kept unto Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, and the promise of destruction, the children that are promised the destruction unto them as well. And all these people, all these prophecies. Ultimately, that's the good news. That Yahawashi, that's a message he brought. That's why Yahawashi, that was also good news that Yahawashi was that he grafted in the ones that fell away from the heritage. Because if not Yahawashi died for us, we'll be as Sodom and Gomorrah, just as the scriptures say. We'll be as Sodom and Gomorrah. Absolutely obliterated. But ultimately, if he's going to obliterate the Israelites, he also has to keep his word on destroying the ordinances of the stars.
Because that was the sole purpose that we even exist.
Yeah, so he, just as the scriptures say, he did not create the earth to destroy it. He created the earth to be inhabited. And he's going to be, and he's going to set it over one that is profitable. That one that is profitable, starting with Yahawashi on down. All right, the tabernacles of David. He set that up, and that's where Yahawashi. That's the purpose he died. And that ultimately, at the end of the day, that's good news, even for you people that have incredulity, the unbelief, the unrighteous people. I'm talking about you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, because you are the Israelites. Even you that don't believe, at the end of the day, in the kingdom, you're gonna know that you're Israelites. Because Yahawashi is gonna yet still have mercy upon David. I mean Jacob. David's still Jacob anyways. So continuing, it says, I'm gonna continue with the 2nd Ezra chapter 15. It says, let me start at 3 again. It says, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die on their unfaithfulness. And that's why we prefer to have faith now. So we don't suffer later with these other people. Because these people have the mentality that it's peace and safety right now. Because shit has not hit the fan. Because there's still food on the shelves of the stores. But inflation is coming. And gas is just the first part of it. Baby formula is just the first part of it. There's going to be much, much, much more to come. With the war that's happening in Ukraine, just as I forgot what they call themselves, but they keep track on the world's food. They said they only got 10 weeks left.
There's the World Economic Forum. That's another one. They're tracking you know, the monetary fund globally, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, so that's not 10 weeks. 10 weeks is not a lot of time for Jake. It's like, oh, we still got time. That's Jake. That's Jake. And you know, the prophecy ain't gonna wait. The prophecy is gonna keep coming.
They're gonna
and
try
it's
to-
gonna get harder, and it's gonna get harder.
They're gonna try to
It's
come
gonna
in.
get harder.
They're gonna try to come in right before it's too late. And Yahawashi gonna be like, who are you? I don't know you. You know? Because you have to be the wise virgins that's been collecting, that kept oil all the way until Yahawashi returned. You know? But those foolish ones, they only had enough for only a very short time.
Right. So
When they try to come for us, they try to come for us, the true men of Yahawashi Yahushua, the true body of Yahushua, and try to get our oil. And that ain't gonna happen, because there won't be enough for both of us.
and to break it down more, you know, for because there's gonna be some of them that still don't understand what is it that is being brought forth from the
Yeah, that's
scriptures.
what,
you know?
them that durst for a little while,
Right.
you know? And when
You know?
persecution arises, you know, then they're gonna try to blame us for it.
They're gonna try to seek.
No.
They're gonna try to seek the. They're gonna try to seek the word early. You know. They're gonna want to. Now they want answers. Now when shit's happening, now they want answers, and they're not gonna have it.
Just like what it says in Ecclesiastes.
You know.
It says seek ye Yahawashi Yahushua in thy youth. Roughly
So
paraphrasing.
it's better. It's better now. It's better now to seek the Lord. It's better now. You know. This is Revelations 3:10, and you know, and because thou hast kept the word of my patience.
Actually, can you hold that? It's like this also goes into it as well, and they will go hand in hand together. So the second Ezra chapter 15, verse 5 says, behold, saith Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the earth, sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith Yahweh, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. It's just like what it says in, I think it was Jeremiah or Isaiah, one of the two. You know, it says, set a mark upon them that sigh and cry for all the abominations to be done in the midst thereof. You know? And you know that this is Babylon the Great. That America's Babylon the Great. This country is the main country that is boasting in the alphabet people. You know? The ABC soup. You know? And just like Apostle Rella says.
The alphabet cereal.
The alphabet cereal. The Fruit Loops.
I got a precept.
Wait, who got a precept? Oh, just hold on to it. It says, and therefore saith Yahweh, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent in blood from among them. If we want to be a part of that. You know, that's why we're even doing this work. We're showing our faith through this work towards Yahawashi Yahushua, so he can see upon us. So we can shine amongst the sparks among the stubble. You know, and deliver us from this. Because this is hell, man. We want this kingdom to be destroyed. And that's the good news. That this kingdom will be destroyed. And if we do as Yahushua has commanded us to do, that we may enter into that grace and get the receive salvation and see the good news with our very own eyes. Firsthand, of the front row seats. First off, seeing our enemy be destroyed, standing on the sea of glass. That's being inside those chariots, looking down at the earth, being fueled with flames of fire by the ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. You know, because those ICBM missiles weren't created just to not be used. That's the weapon of Yahawashi Yahushua's indignation.
Right. That's Yahawashi Yahushua's a secret recipe of destruction.
That's the only
Pretty
weapon
much.
that's still advancing.
Right.
You know, because it's not of their power. Yahawashi Yahushua's putting those ideas into their head. and they think it's their own free will. But little do they know is that that's the very same destruction. Very same weapon that's going to cause the destruction. And at the end of the day, that is the good news. That this kingdom will be destroyed, and after this kingdom will be a kingdom full of righteousness, ruled in righteousness, and the earth is going to rejoice.
Yahawashi. That's the ultimate good news.
Yeah.
You know?
And that these kingdoms will be under subjection under the true Israelites. The 144,000 and 1/3, first and foremost. You know? So, yeah, you can whatever piece that you got.
This is Luke chapter 12 verse 56. It says, ye hypocrites, you can discern the face of the skies of the earth, but how is it that you do not discern this time? And that was it. It was short. It was short.
Repeat that again.
It says, ye hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky.
Go up a little bit.
Huh?
Go up a bit of like 2 verses.
Okay. This is Luke chapter 12 54. It says, and he said also to the people, when ye see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, there cometh a shower, and so it is. And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it cometh to pass. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time?
Yeah, that's majority of our people. You know, you can see the prices of food rising. You can see it rising, but people don't put their forethought of it. You know, they didn't prepare for it. Why is that? Because they're not looking at the times. That these blood moons are happening. You can see the sky, you can see the clouds, but you're not looking at the moon. When the moon turns blood, that is a sign of bad times, of evil times. Evil means bad times. Eve means time, ill means bad. Evil times, bad times. All right. Yeah, continue.
That was all.
No, there's more to that.
I was stopping on my highlight. Alright. It says, yea, and why even yourselves judge ye not what is right?
Okay. There was another one. There was another one where it talks about that the sky is red and lowering.
Oh.
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah. So continuing, it says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will suffer them. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand, and stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will smite all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. And Egypt means bondage. And the reason that Egypt was so mentioned in the scriptures with the Israelites is because that was the land of our captivities at that moment. This is that new Egypt. This is the land that's called Sodom and Egypt. All right. This is that land. This is Babylon the Great. It practices the customs of Babylon, and it practices the customs of Egypt, and it practices the customs of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all of the sorts. You know, everything that is wicked in Yahawashi's eyes, this land got it. And you know, death and the sword, death, destruction, famine, everything's going to be coming here. Just as in Egypt in the ancient times, when Yahawashi delivers us from this land, it'll be the greatest deliverance there ever was.
It's gonna be really great because you know there's gonna be witness at the last minute. And a lot of them won't, because they didn't believe until the end.
Yeah, it says the saints shall know it after death by pain.
That's the last second. You know, because now they're gonna have that split second. They're gonna have a regret, but it's too late.
With the anguish of spirit. That's that anguish of spirit, because it's going to be a strange thing that we're getting salvation. Well, ultimately, at the end of the day, all of this is good news. This is part of the good news that you wacky-tacky Christians don't even talk about.
No, they want to
All,
nice one.
yeah, all of this is good news. The destruction of our enemies, and the salvation of the true chosen people, the righteous men. All right, the righteous men, women, and children. All right, starting with the 144,000, which are the men, the servants of Yahawashi. All right. So continuing, it says, they that till the ground shall mourn, for the siege shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with the fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and evading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And it's going to exceedingly increase in America, man. The sedition among men. Alright? It's going to exceedingly increase. Big time. And there's going to be riots everywhere. Just wait until famine hits here, man. Inflation skyrockets. People can't even afford food. It costs a day's worth to get a loaf of bread. Alright? Just wait until that happens. People are going to start rioting. People are going to rob each other. Steal each other's food. Deck themselves. Women are going to be raped. So are little girls. So are little boys. So are men. And that day it's going to be dark. Alright? The truth holds nothing back. Alright? So let me jump over to let me continue with this. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. No, men are going to be afraid to even go outside. When she is offended, men are going to be afraid to go outside. You ain't going to be catching women out here. You ain't going to be catching children out here. You know? Everybody's going to be hostile towards each other. You know, and especially with these lockdown in the cities. When martial law hits, you won't even be able to go over to New Jersey freely. You know, or PA, or any of these other cities or counties. Because martial law is going to be hidden. And if you're outside when the curfew hits, you're going to be shot on sight. And people don't put their minds to this. But when it happens, then you will understand that the prophet's been among you. And pursuing Ezekiel 33 and 33, when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then thou shalt know that a prophet's been among you. Because when you hear us, you say, God bless. I love what you're doing. But you don't do a single thing that we say, because we're warning you. Return unto Yahawashi, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. Return from your wicked ways. Stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. Stop shaving your beard. Stop shaving your head. You know? Be righteous. Prepare yourself. Guard your loins, as the scriptures say. Deliver yourself from Babylon. That doesn't mean taking a plane ticket and leaving America. Because it's the death and destruction is going to be everywhere. Flee from it by returning unto the Heavenly Father.
It's like people want to lie in America.
Yeah, I got scripture. Read it. This is Matthew 10, verse 32. Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. Yeah, and this is what we're doing out here. We're confessing the testimony of Yahawashi, because Yahawashi said this was going to happen, pursuing the Matthew 24th chapter. We're confessing the names of Yahweh, which means He is in the Paleo-Hebrew tongue, and Yahawashi, which means which is He saves or He delivers. What this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ in the Paleo-Hebrew tongue. We're confessing amongst these people. They don't understand. They don't know these names. These are the names that were given among men. Because there is no other names. Alright? Not God and Jesus. God just is a title. It means power. That's it. Every God has a name. And His name is Yahweh. In the Paleo-Hebrew tongue, that's the true tongue the Israelites spoke in the ancient times. Not the Assyrian Hebrew that these Amalekites speak in our land, saying that they are us. But it's also good news that they're going to be taken out of the way, because Yahawashi understand that there's a bastard in our land. A man that says that they're us, but they're not. They're no son. They're a bastard. That's what a true manser is. You know? That's what a true manser is. Ultimately, the bastard that dwelleth in Ashdod, the Amalekites, the Edomites, which is a so-called white man. Alright? That's the Amalekites are the top tribe of Esau. But then you got the lower tribes, which is amongst America.
But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven.
And that's not just denying directly Yahawashi, but denying His men. Because we're confessing Yahawashi. Denying what Yahawashi's sayings were, his prophetic sayings. You know? Denying Yahawashi that He did miracles. Denying Yahawashi that he isn't a savior. You know? Oh, denying Yahawashi that He is a savior. That's what it's like. You know? And a lot of these men, they're gonna die a painful death. You know, this is why prophets were never liked in the ancient times, because they speak truth. Alright? They speak truth. They hold nothing back. Unlike these wacky-tacky Christians, that a lot of these men that don't teach the true doctrine. They hold things back. The true prophets, they sound dark. They sound negative. You know? But it's just to persuade you to turn from your ways. Turn into righteousness. Turn towards righteousness.
I had to look at the word they come from. It's confess. You know, it goes to the Greek. To profess, acknowledge. Acknowledge openly in your truth.
And that's pretty much it right there. You can actually keep going.
To one's honor, to celebrate, give praise to.
And us doing this work, that's why it's a reasonable service, because we're out here confessing the name, and we're giving praise to Yahawashi that through this work, through this faith, that we can enter in onto grace. And that's part of the good news. All we have to do is just do a little bit of work. Little bit of work. So what if we do this thing for years? So what? It's still a little bit of work. Because at the end of your life, if you even see the end of your life, you know, you get to reap from your fruits of all your labors. Alright, these people, you go to work, you go to your job, you work for your very purpose of getting a paycheck, and you expect to see it at the end of your 2-week period or the 1-week period. You know, we got work right now. You know, and we don't expect to see it until Yahawashi returns.
give thanks, loud praise, confess. It's pretty much like giving credit.
That's
You
why
have to
we
give
have
credit.
this. That's why it's called reasonable service. Reasonable service. This is because Yahawashi laid down his life for us. We should lay down our life for him as well. And that in itself, that's giving praise, like a thanks, like thank you, because of you, you save our life. That's why his name is Yahawashi. He saves or he delivers, and through this work, we that we can enter into grace with it, and through our faith, and that's part of the good news. And us confessing and prophesying the downfall of this kingdom to throw down this kingdom through our words of Yahawashi and Yahawashi, because it's not of our words alone that we're throwing this down. It's through the Spirit, it's through the power of Yahweh that we're throwing down this kingdom. That's why it says, with a faith the size of a mustard seed, thou shalt shake mountains. And mountains refer to governments. That's why when they have a meeting, they call it a summit meeting. A summit is the top of a mountain. Because that's what governments are. They're mountains. And that's why Esau's so obsessed with pyramids. Because at the top of that pyramid, who's there? The top banking family. Because those are the ones who rule this world. Now, pyramid is a mountain.
They pretty much they control the economic forum, and that's what's on the news right now.
And that's what they're trying to do. Ultimately with the New World Order.
Back to confess. This is a etymology of confess.
MWO. It's like.
This is etymology, a verb in confess. Transitive and intransitive. Make a vow or admission of. Just to get
it says a fault, crime, sin, debt, etc. And what are we doing out here? At the end of the day, this is our debt to Yahawashi. And all of our works, they cover. Anybody who hears our word and turn from their ways or anything like that, or us just doing this work, it covers a multitude of sins.
That's an admission.
Yeah.
Listen, you're admitting the power of Yahawashi. The Heavenly Father, His Son.
We use as tools to confess. Man.
He's in total control. He's in total control of what's going on.
Yeah.
Good, evil, everything that's going on, everything is going to come to pass. And that's basically we doing this work.
Yeah. This is John 11:47. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, "What do we? For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation."
Yeah, that's just another reason for for the truth to be hated, because the truth is being evil spoken of. But I don't know what else to apply that to, but yeah. So let me continue with this. 2 Ezra chapter 15 verse 19, it says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." And little do you know is that women are goods to men as well. That's why in the scriptures they're considered as booty, as treasure. Right? Women are considered as a possession in the scriptures. Alright? That's why they need to be protected. Because women can't protect themselves. That's why when shit hits the fan, a lot of these women are gonna have a wake-up call. Because they cannot protect themselves when shit hits the fan. Because there's gonna be men who's on rampage, gonna try to ravage them, as the scriptures say. And ravage means to rape. They're gonna try to rape the women.
You know what?
So a lot of these women are gonna have a wake-up call that there is no equality. Just like what it destroyed Rome in the ancient times was the lack of morality. And women lack morale, and so do men. You know? And what shades the fan, that morale is gonna go right back into place. Except for the men. For those effeminate men, man, you're screwed. Ah, damn. You can't fight back. You're gonna run like the women. Shit, man.
You can see how you can see how the alphabet people act over there in Ukraine.
Yeah, shit.
And they made him stay and fight. Oh, what? You got something hanging between your legs?
That's true.
You gotta stay and fight.
They still made them fight. They still made them fight.
The first one died.
Yeah.
But but even now, like women don't realize that today. Eve especially, that they consider a possession anyways, and they go with that kind of flow, but they don't realize it. That when they say like check your booty, they're pretty much telling them they're a treasure, they're a possession. Check your treasure.
Yeah.
It's not what they want.
They want the attention, but once they get the attention, they don't want it.
That's why 7 women shall come unto 1 man in that day, because men are going to be as a great rock in a weary place, or in that river in a drought. Just like what Picard says. When that man so happens to come across them, right, and stops them from getting raped or anything like that, right? She doesn't want to go anywhere else but stick with this dude, because she knows if she goes anywhere else she's gonna get attacked. She wants to be protected, and that's a natural thing of a woman. All right.
And at the end of the day, it's not about money. You see how Eve is so messed up. They think it's all about money. At the end of the day, it's about power. At the end of the day, it's about power. Mm-hmm. Who's over her, and how's she gonna get protected?
The phone's not charging.
Huh?
The phone's not charging.
My phone's not charging. It's probably the heat.
Yeah, it's the heat, bro. It is the heat.
Which is like stand catty corner to
the charging thing, but it's still going down.
slowly.
I see the internet as being a douchebag as well.
No, that thing just shut up. And plus, I am also overheating.
What's up? Somebody swap places. You swap. Cover that phone. Cover it with your shadow. The CPU is up here. Yeah, so I'm gonna read.
Still gonna get the same amount of sun if you stand there.
Yeah, you ain't getting out of the sun, man. All right, so this is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 1. It says, "Woe be unto Babylon and Asia! Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria! Gird up yourselves with clothes of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand." And even if they're sorry, they're going to be destroyed. All these heathens, man. Because it's not just Esau. It's not just Esau who put us into slavery. It's not just Esau who erased us, tried to erase us from history and from our lineage, our heritage, everything from us. All these heathens did it. You Ishmaelites, you Ammonites, you Moabites, you Elamites, you Edomites, you Hamites, all of you. I'm gonna say it in English. All right. You Arabs. All right. You what's it? You Arabs. You got your Japanese. You got your Chinese. You got your Africans. You got your you so-called white people. All of you heathens, man, are going to be. You guys are going to get your ass whooping by Yahawashi. Somebody want to get that in. Let me get that in the song.
Thirds that think that the enemy's our friend.
Yeah.
The main bad guy is Esau, but his goons are these heathens.
They're basically trying to erase themselves. their own selves. You're gonna think that.
Psalms 37. Esau's nature in himself.
Yeah, Esau's obsessed with the end of the world. I just saw an article saying the end of the world is near again. I'm like, again? Again? Like the black.
Esau is just obsessed with death. Knowing him that he likes skydiving, like to poke at beasts. You know, smell beasts behind.
Somebody want to get
No
that?
wonder his end of the world's always coming.
So somebody want to get that? Make them. What's it? Make them fear damn. Oh, you missed it. It's in Psalms. I know it's in Psalms.
Is fear in there?
Yeah. This is all the way in Psalms. No. I think it's make them feel that whirlwind. I think something like that. You got whirlwind. No, I'm not sure if it was whirlwind or I thought it was something that started with a T. No, it's I know it was something like that. Damn, man. I thought it was like 137. It's not 137 because I already know what that one is. It's like remember the heathen. Remember the heathen that you know took counsel against me. Damn. Alright, man. Screw it. Damn. Yeah. Guess no point in trying to find it.
Well, wait a minute. Is there no more remembrance?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was part of that as well. I found it. It's Psalms 83. Slack it. Alright, so this is Psalms chapter 83, verse 1. It says, Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. And all these nations that go against Yahawashi Yahushua are his enemies. And all these nations, every single one, bucked up against Yahawashi Yahushua. Even till this day. Alright? Even to this day. And they're gonna get their butt whooping, man. Alright, so it says, they taken crafty counsel against thy little one, against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And all these nations did it. You know? All you nations did it. So continues, it even tells you which nations have done it. And specific tribes of them as well. All right, it says, for they have consulted together with one consent, and they have with one consent. You can see them all took the philosophy of Esau. Every single nation got cars. Every single nation got airports. Every single nation got jobs. You know, got a suing system. Every single nation got war councils. You know,
United Nations.
Every single nation's abide by war rules. Every single nation, you know.
That the seat of the UN. That was Esau's philosophy for the nation.
Yeah,
So
with one consent.
and they get to have their own little seat with their own name.
It's just like
You know?
the Tower of Babel.
Right.
You know, with that one king, he stood them together with one consent. And just like how Tower of Babel was casted down, so will this kingdom be. You know. So continuing, it says, they are confederate against thee, so they're against Yahawashi's rules and laws of nature that was given onto Adam. You know, those set laws. You know, Esau goes against that. The laws against nature. You know, men go on men, women go on women. Men trying to turn themselves into women. Women trying to turn themselves into men. You know, the very alphabet community as you know it, trying to shove it down your throat and upon your children's throat. Right?
Meanwhile, killing the fruit of the womb.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. You know, women. You know, that used to be a huge uproar back then. You know. But nowadays, women know, but they want to do it. They freely want to be murderers.
It got so bad that Eve is now saying that it's fine to kill a 2-year-old. Like it's like there's gotta be some sort of whatever.
Yeah, it's like
in her mindset.
I like how one of the brothers said that. It's like nobody aborted you. Like nobody aborted you. Why do you have that idea? Like if you are a baby and you had to say so if your mother wanted to abort you or not, you're gonna say no. You're gonna kill me?
It boils down to selfishness now.
And it's funny. It's funny how that Edomite, even the Edomites have more knowledge. Just like what is it? The children of wickedness are wiser than the children of light. Or the children of darkness are wiser than the children of light. Roughly paraphrasing, you know, because even the Edomite went like, you think it's wrong to kill a 2-year-old, right? I mean a 10-year-old, right? And she's like, yeah, that's murder, right? Yeah. Why is it not the same likewise as killing a 2-year-old or younger? And it's like, he was even questioning it. And I'm like, that's a good-ass point. That's a good point.
Yeah, Yahawashi used him as a tool to ask that kind of question.
Yeah, right?
You know?
It's just to put it in his spirit to ask that question. Just for it to be recorded and shown among the Aki. This is how dumb our people are. Look at this. You know? And then she just repeated the same thing as well. She didn't have anything to say, so she just repeated that. She just repeated her point from the beginning. Like I think women. I trust women with their bodies.
It's like she malfunctioned. She malfunctioned to common sense.
Yeah, men and women lack morality in this kingdom. Why? Because ultimately the one who's in rulership, and that's who? That's Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Like it or not. Right? That's what the lack of morality is what destroyed the Roman Empire. It's happening again. And this is going to be the greatest downfall ever. Why? Because let's just say the Roman philosophy or Babylon's philosophy is across the 4 corners of the entire earth. Right? Some things they agree on, some things they don't. But at the end of the day, they all have that philosophy. It's like saying which type of flavor do they like of that philosophy's wine. I like this flavor. I don't really like that flavor. You know?
Yeah, it's like saying Ishmael doesn't like, okay, to put it like this, Ishmael doesn't like the Western world. and how and what their ideas are, and how, what they push about freedom. And Ishmael can say, you know, I don't like America. America this and that, American that. Yeah, fucking America. You know, whatever. Right? Meanwhile, now that Ishmael finished what he need to say, Ishmael go in that car. In his car. In that car is what? That car is a Western style of traveling. You know, he could have taken a camel. He could have taken a camel and go home.
What are the brothers? This is kind of off topic, but one of the brothers actually posted a picture. You know the shooting from Texas, right? In elementary school. I think the brothers think that it was actually targeted for one specific guy, and it was a security guard. That security guard, he was actually trying to build an engine that's water powered. Water powered engine. How eco-friendly is that? Is it eco-friendly and you got an infinite supply of water? Bruh. He had a water powered engine.
And Esau is known for that. Esau is known, like, if you can't catch the enemy, why not kill a whole lot of them just to get to that?
Just to get them.
Because that way they don't miss a target. You know, and how many times he does that with either an airplane or I just say the Twin Towers. That's another one. I'm sure there was somebody in there that Esau wanted to take down.
Yeah.
There's multiple news of Esau blowing up buildings because there's a so-called terrorist in that building, but they just blew up the whole.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You know why? I forgot where it was. I think it was Syria. The bombing in Syria. It says that everybody talks about Ukraine, the bombings in Ukraine, but they don't talk about the bombing that just happened in Syria in 2019, I believe it was, and the bombing killed tons of civilians that had nothing to do with it. And it says that the Pentagon investigated themselves and saw nothing as guilty, just to take down targets of ISIS targets. And I'm like, what the fuck? You see, that's exactly what you just said. You know?
And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with us. We pushing this truth, you know, and you know, Esau's gonna try. He's gonna try to do anything he can. Create some kind of narrow. That's
why they're trying to push that quote hate speech legislation, which is a law. A legislation is a law. So they're trying to establish a hate speech law so they can go against the truth. Why? Because just like what it says in prophecy, it says that the law of justice shall be his strength. So he's going to try to make it seem like it's justice to come against us, even though we're speaking truth. We're speaking straight out of the scriptures, man. All of these prophecies, all of these things, it's going to happen. And we're saying that Yahawashi is going to absolutely obliterate this land. Obliterate the people that want to be in this land. All right? So continuing with Psalms, it says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and Ishmael and of Moab and the Hargarenes, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Gabal and Ammon and Amalek and the Philistines and the inhabitants of Tyre and Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, and to Sisera, and as to Jabin, and the brook of Pisan, and the dung for the earth. And people don't even remember these names. Why? Because Esau went to go change these names, so he can hide the ultimately the children of Israel. You know, that says raise it even from the foundation thereof. You know, you want to get that?
He started naming all the lands after his name.
Yeah. You know, and that's the whole thing. Esau, the so-called white man, wants to remove the children of Israel out from the history books. The so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. You know, even from the foundation thereof, raise it. I don't remember. Just what even from the foundation. It was raised to keep from the foundation there. Damn.
What is it? Wait, what is it?
There it is. Psalms 137 and 7. Ah, that was that was 137.
This Psalms 137 and 7. Remember, O Yahweh, Hashem Yahawashi, and the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it,
Which means erase it. That's where that word comes from. Erase it. Continue.
even to the foundation thereof.
So they're trying to just like what it says in Psalms 83, that they to make us be cut off as. Let me actually read it. It says they have said, "Come and let us cut off them off. Let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel shall be no more in remembrance." And Israel is still a thing. But the thing is, Yasharallah isn't a thing. The Israelites aren't a thing. But the Israelis are a thing. There's a difference between an Israeli and an Israelite. Israelites are the biblical Israelites. The Israelis are the inhabitants of Israel.
Yeah, which,
Right? That's Amalek. That's the bastard that dwells in Ashdod, which is the top tribe of Esau.
This is Romans 1 and 25. Who changed the truth of Yahawashi into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than a creator, who is blessed forever. Amen.
Yeah, they changed the truth into a lie. You know? So let me continue with this. It says, which perished at Endor, they became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and Zaib. Yea, all their princes of Zabah and Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the house of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel as the stubble before the wind, as a fire that burneth the wood, and as a flame that setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid of thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O power, O Yahweh. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou art, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. So let me continue with 2nd Ezra chapter 16, because this is pretty much the land backing on it. It says, woe unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird yourselves with clothes of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is set upon you. Who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you. Who may quench it? And Esau and all these heathens, they did treachery amongst our people. All right? You want to get that? No, I think it was Amos.
Let me read this part here. This is Psalms 137 and 8. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee, as thou hast served us.
Yeah. Continue.
Happy shall he be that taketh.
They don't even speak about what they did to the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, but they talk about the so-called blacks a lot. They do that for the purpose of separating the children of Israel, because the so-called blacks are the southern tribes of Israel, and the northern tribes are the so-called Native Americans and the Latinos. But we're together, all right? And they take our babies and they smash them against the walls.
They slice a woman's when their belly is grown, with a woman with child. And feed them the gators too.
Yeah, that's where the saying gator bait comes from. You know? So continuing with this. Oh, what was that?
You got a question?
We don't got any cars. This is the only place you're gonna find us. Out in the streets. So continuing, it says, a fire is set among you. Who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you. What is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it has begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Yahweh sendeth the plagues. Who is he that may drive them away? And all of this is going to pick up, you know. And people don't put their minds to that. All right, people don't put their minds to that. That this place is going to go down in a very brutal fashion, and everyone that wants to be established with this world are going to go down with the world, man. And that is the good news. This is part of the good news, man.
This kingdom is cursed. This whole kingdom is cursed.
Yeah, that's why the sons of perdition, man.
Right. You know, when Esau was hanging a lot of jakes on a tree, especially Judah, they were hanging them. There's a law in the scripture talking about curses he that hanging from a tree. The land is cursed because when the sun goes down, you know, and the body's still hanging on that tree, it curses the whole land. And Esau continuously did that.
Woe unto him that buildeth the city with blood. That's in Habakkuk.
That's another curse. The curse, Esau was just building more cases against him.
Yeah, so that's why Esau.
Is, you know?
That's why Esau, the so-called white man, is taking down these statues. You know, because it used to be his glory.
Right.
Like, I did it. I got my vengeance. I didn't get my vengeance. More like I got Israel where I want him. You know, and it used to be his glory, but now it's shameful spewing on his name. And why is that? Because he's trying to make it where the law of justice is his strength. So now he wants to be seen as a hero. You know, he wants to be seen as the innocent and that is innocent nation.
Meanwhile, the elites, ultimately were Yahawashi was in control. But in this world, the elites have it to like, okay, now that we got Jake where we want them, you know, take these statues out of the way, you know, because Jake is already pacified. Jake is already comfortable now. And Jacob's already relying on Esau for everything.
Because you have to seek your enemy for one of all things. No, go to your enemy. So continuing, it says, who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? That is so badass. You know? And the thing is, you mess with the apple of his eye.
That's worse than being beaten to a pulp.
You mess with the sons. You mess with the sons of the Heavenly Father, the creator of all things. The creators of the heavens and the earth. You mess with his sons, man. Esau, you are done. You know? And this is the fact. This is the fact why Yahawashi, that's why this is good news. Ultimately, this is why it's good news. Because Yahawashi is going to put our enemies into subjection and destroy everything they labored for.
Look at this. This is ash. Pottery remains of fire.
Yeah.
That's what's coming.
They're gonna be burnt. They're gonna be burnt. They're gonna be pounded to powder, man. And that's what it means. They're gonna be turned to ash.
And that pounding. Ooh,
they're gonna be vaporized, dude.
That's the intercontinental missile.
And
the
chariots that fell down with violence.
And they all involve fire.
Yeah, when you're pounding something, you're pounding on with violence. Like pound, pound, pound. That's why a hammer is considered a violent weapon.
An explosion can cause ash too.
Yeah.
You know, so all that constant bombardment. You know, if you look at the word bombardment, you know, bombardment.
I think it's a barrage of bombs.
No. Continuous attack with shot and shell. Rapid continuous delivery of
Oh no, that's
this
is going in.
Heavy fire and artillery to saturate an area rather than hit a specific target. It's gonna be everywhere.
It's gonna be everywhere, man.
Everywhere's a target.
That's why this place is going to be hell. This is going to be that pit of fire. Why is that? Because 200 million 200 million ICBM warheads, intercontinental ballistic missile warheads, are going to hit here in America, man. 200 million. And nothing is going to stop the mighty archers from shooting those arrows. And no one can turn that arrow away from its target.
So you can watch videos of them testing one of the biggest bombs, but they had to do it on the ground. I don't know if you guys saw that, right? They test one of the biggest bombs, but they had to do it on the ground. Now, not this year. I think it was like a few years back, and it just the whole ground went up, like for miles, and the whole ground went up and slammed down because they tested on the ground.
I didn't know that. Are you sure it was a few years ago? Because the bombs now they're just too big.
The bombs now they can't test it on the ground anymore.
They do it in space.
They have to do it in containment or in space.
Imagine how big it is imagine how big it is when you back then when they tested on top of ground and they can, and now think how big it is. How now they can't even test it on the ground anymore.
Yeah, I guess.
I gotta find the video.
You gotta preset.
I'm gonna continue what I did before, because I was trying to get rid. This is Matthew 10, verse 34. Think not I come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of the good news. That's part of the good news. Why? Because Yahawashi said it himself, man. You know? That's why he's coming from Basra. From dyed garments from Basra. You know? Coming from Edom.
It's Jacob's trouble is right there on your doorstep. And you know, when things get bad,
that's why vengeance is in Yahawashi's heart.
It's gonna get worse still. I mean, that famine is coming. That famine, the food shortages and all that. That's gonna be Candyland compared to what's still coming.
Yeah, you know, a lot of these wacky tacky Christians, they don't understand why the scriptures say, "All eyes shall see him, and wail because of him." It won't be a wailing of happiness. No, wailing is a hysterical cry, a bitter cry, like you just lost somebody, like somebody just died in front of you. One of your loved ones died in front of you. You're gonna bewail. You're gonna wail. All right? You're gonna wail because you lost your loved one.
You'll become weak in the knees, how they say.
Yeah.
You know.
There was actually a scripture like that. That men's heart shall fail them. You know.
Your heart will melt or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. You know, and they're gonna fall down. You know, and they're gonna bewail. And that's that inquisitive spirit which is talking about in Wisdom of Solomon.
Very distressed. They're gonna be very distressed. Don't know. They're gonna be running to and fro. They're not gonna know what to do. They're gonna try to hide somewhere. Nothing's gonna work.
Just like what the scripture say, that had to try to go into the stars, that shall bring them down. They shall hide in the depths of the sea. I shall have the Leviathan bite them, or something like that. And if they shall dig themselves in the earth, I shall dig them out. You know, I shall grab them up.
So even though that goes to the elites, you know, wicked Jacob's gonna have his little hiding too. He's gonna try to hide somehow.
Esau can't hide in space. Esau can't hide in the sea. Esau can't hide on the ground. Ain't nowhere. Yahawashi created the heavens and the earth. He knows every pinpointed location where you are.
And the dumbest thing Esau can do, especially the elites, is hide himself up in space. That's his throne.
That's how I shall bring thee down.
Yahawashi's throne. You know, it's like you're gonna enter into a house with somebody that already has a back for you, waiting for you.
Oh my gosh. Alright, let me continue with this. Wait, you still got more on that, right?
Nah.
Alright. It says, what was that? Let me start at 11 again. It says, Yahweh shall threaten, who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence. The earth quaketh, and the foundation thereof. The sea arises up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled. And the fishes thereof also, before Yahweh and before his glory and his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, and his arrows that shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss. when they begin to be shot into the ends of the earth. And that's not literal arrows. That's talking about the intercontinental ballistic missiles. That's why it says they shall be shot from the ends of the earth. You know? And that's why the ocean is going to be waving with the huge waves and the fishes in it and everything in it. It's going to be tossed to and fro. Why? Because the earth is going to be tossed to and fro as a joker. Because of how many missiles are going to be exploding. Because they're so big. You know? That's why it says, mighty is the right hand of Yahweh. By Hashem Yahawashi.
But it doesn't mean the destruction of the whole earth.
Yeah.
You know?
Because world is a world of Esau. Because there's a world of rock and roll. There's a world of gaming. There's a world of music. You know?
The way these wacky types of Christians have it is like the whole earth is going to go, and then it's going to be like a brand new earth. Like the earth will be created like another one from that. You know, there won't be that old earth. There will be a new one that's got created. No, the whole earth is still going to be there.
That's what we see. We see the rejuvenated earth.
And the scripture, you know, this Ecclesiastes 1 and 4. Ecclesiastes 1 and 4, one generation passing away, and another generation coming, but the earth abideth forever.
Not just that, you also got 2 Peter chapter 3. If you go into the word, we seek the new heaven and the new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. If you go into that word new, it means rejuvenated, which means healed, or it means a healed earth. Because after Esau's gone, this earth is going to start healing. And the earth is yearning for that.
Shit.
The earth and all the animals on it, everything is yearning for it.
When that shit hit, what is that, 2020? You know what I'm talking about? That C-19, whatever. When that shit hit, it slowed a lot of things into a crawl. But you know the statistics, and they were talking about on the news that somehow they found that there was less pollution in the air. The oceans were somehow it was healing. The earth, the grass was a little greener.
And it wasn't even that long.
Know? And it wasn't even that long. The earth is trying to heal itself. It just has a parasite on it. And that's the so-called Esau. So-called white man. Salaki.
Let me continue with this. It says, 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 14. It says, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they have come upon the earth. It says the fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward. Even so, the plagues that shall be sent unto the earth shall not return again. He says, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? Because even Ezra saw that he saw it. You know, he received that vision. And he saw the destruction of Babylon the Great. And all the people in it are going to be wailing. And that wailing and gnashing of teeth. And people don't put it into their heads now. Because it says, seek ye the Lord why in thy youth. You know? So continuing, it says, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And you know, Ezra is here nowadays. You know, because reincarnation exists. Ezra saw this, and he's going to live through those times. All right, and he's going to be part of that elect at the end of the day. Because the souls of the prophets are subject unto the prophets. So continuing. So continuing, it says, behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are set as scourges for amendment. You want to get that word amendment? improvement. I said all of these are sent as amendment. All right, it says, behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Correction.
And reformation.
Yeah. Damn, bro.
Alteration. It's pretty much alteration. Alteration means to change.
Damn. Damn. It says, but for all these things they shall not turn away from the wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. And that's mainly talking about you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know? Because it is the inflation is going to increase, famine is going to hit, you know, and Lord willing that these blackouts happen, man. You know? And it's gonna pick up more and more and more.
Man, to free from faults, rectify, correct, set right, make better, improve.
Yeah. Yeah. So continuing, it says, behold, Israel shall be good sheep upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And that's still happening now. People still, people are still not worrying about the food and the wheat or the bread. Ultimately, the bread and a lot of things are made with wheat. You know, a lot of diseases are increasing. You know, famine is hitting in a lot of places. You know,
the supply chain that's going on right now is still the same problem since 2020. It's still the same problem. It's just it started slowly getting worse and worse. And the thing about it is that Esau's trying to catch up so he can have some control again, because it's been out of control. It's been out of control since then. And ultimately it's been out of control since he started waking up from the truth. For the truth.
Yeah, Esau's downfall started in like 1960 something. Alright? And they started falling. I think it was 1969. You know, they started falling. Falling. Esau's empire is crumbling.
Esau was at his peak when they had those 1950 shows about like
and it's gonna
Bieber, Father Knows Best, and all that. Those shows like, hey mom, hey dad, what should I do? Stay in school, and you'll make it better. They said, oh dad, oh mom, mostly dad, like you know better. Father knows best. Next week. But that's how the shows were back then. Esau was at his peak. Meanwhile, Jake was getting hanged on trees, getting burned, and all that, getting kicked to the curb. There was the Jim Crow laws all the time, but Esau was at his height.
It's not our rest. This is not our rest, man. And even if Jake got a job, they're still getting food on the table and stuff like that. Doesn't mean that we're still in good times. That we're still in the times as usual. It's just as the scriptures say, as the fathers fell asleep, so all the days continue as it was before, perfect. And that's the mindset of these people. They think that it's going to continue onward until the day they die. It ain't going to happen in my lifetime. Yes, it is. Because this destruction, this death, and everything is going to start hitting, and most likely a couple of years, and Lord willing, sooner. It shall catch these people in a surprise.
You notice that Esau ain't talking about, and I don't see on any of the articles, Esau's not talking about when they're going to have flying cars, or they're going to have this, or in the year 31st, when they're on the moons of Jupiter and blah 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 and all that future crap. They're not talking about that now. They're talking about what they're going to do about this economy. It's pretty much what you're going to see now. What they're going to do about this war going on. There's nothing you can do about it. The prophecy is going full force. Yahawashi already put this curse already. It's a stumbling block, pretty much.
They're fumbling down the destruction. So continue with this. I'm gonna say it again in 20. Because behold, Israel shall be good sheep on the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth. Sword, famine, and great confusion. And the fact that it says that is mainly here in America. You know, because all of that stuff, all of those evil times has not reached here in America just yet. So the people here, they're like snowflakes. You know? So once it starts hitting up, but it's not even as bad as it is out there, you know, people are gonna start melting away, start rioting already. So it ain't gonna take a lot. You know, you already got $10 gas at the moment. Alright? And it's gonna keep increasing. I can't wait until that day the wheat starts skyrocketing and the food starts skyrocketing. Yeah, we men out here are gonna be affected. But our mind isn't even upon it. Our mind is like, yes, the prophecies are speaking. Yahawashi, because this is what we're going to be occupied upon. We're going to be occupied of prophecy. Because we seek ye the kingdom of heaven first. We seek the kingdom of heaven first. Alright? This is good news to us. That this world is falling, is having a downfall. And this is good news to us. When riots start breaking in the streets and all of these stuff happening, you know, that's good news for us. You know, these wacky-tacky Christians, they don't see it coming because they don't got the eyes to see. They're not seers. They can't visualize the things coming. They're not circumspect. Alright? Let's continue. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. And famine is coming. And it's coming rapidly. It's coming quick. Alright? So what if we've been saying this for years? The earlier you get ready for it, as it not getting ready by bug out bags and stocking up, that's not what we need. But returning unto Yahawashi Yahawashi. Yahweh means he is in the Paleo Hebrew tongue. Yahawashi means he saves or he delivers in the Paleo Hebrew tongue. Yahweh is what this world ignorantly calls God. Yahawashi is what this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. If you don't return unto them, unto those names, return to who you truly are as Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know, you are not going to be delivered in that time. Because Yahawashi Yahawashi is going to keep his men and their families fed. But you're going to go hungry and thirsty. It says, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Because the reason that they most likely escape the hunger is because they're going to start eating each other. They're going to make people burgers.
You know? A hand sandwich.
Literally, a literal knuckle sandwich.
Knuckle sandwich.
Literal knuckle sandwich. Like, damn.
Behind freaking baby nuggets. You know.
Literal baby back ribs.
Baby. But you know what? It could be a thing, you know? And you know, because
it's funny now, but it says
they're going to be bug outs eating that.
And that's how Yahawashi Yahawashi, he's going to laugh when their calamity comes. When their destruction comes as a whirlwind, he's going to laugh. You know, he's going to laugh at what? To his men. As we're laughing right now. We're saying knuckle sandwich. People are going to be, you know, slapping on a hand with two bread loaves and eating it.
Literal.
So anybody got salt and pepper?
Chicken fingers.
You know? Chicken fingers. You know? Oh my God. It's like little fingers.
It's going to be a sight to behold. I'm telling you that. You know?
Yeah.
But you know, when Jacob's all bugged out of his head, you know, to him, he's imagining, it's like that cartoon. You know, it's an old cartoon of Bugs Bunny. When they're going hungry, they're going really hungry. And it's like two of them. And what is it? That one character look at the other one like a hot dog, and the other one look at him like a juicy burger. And they want to eat each other.
Yeah,
it's like a hot dog and a burger trying to fight each other.
That's what that. But they also, people are going to be hysterical that day. You know, people are going to, you know, when they're going to see their child, they're going to say, I'm going to have mercy on this child by eating the child, so they don't suffer what I'm suffering.
been cases like a mother killing the children because she don't want the children to go through a hardship.
And not just that,
And it's the same thing. It's the same mentality.
it started a lot with monkey cult berserk. But when these Catholic churches and stuff like that, and these wacky tacky Christians, they're gonna close the door on these people.
Alright.
You know, and if they have food stocked up in there, only the pastors and the priests are gonna eat it. Nobody else gets anything.
Until they got nothing
All your charity, all your food charity, they got it. You don't get a single crumb. Not a single crumb.
And that what happened during Hurricane Katrina. You know, when Jake trying to knock on the door on Joel Osteen's church, he didn't let nobody in.
He closed that door.
He was in there trying to be safe.
Locked up. You know,
from the chaos.
yeah, that's
You know?
what these people do. They don't give a shit about you. You're only their merchandise. All right? You're only their merchandise. You know, a lot of these women are going to have skeletal-looking babies, man. And they're like, please, you don't have to take me, just take my baby. You know, and they're going to take the baby. I'm like, thank you. They're going to throw that baby on the wall.
Alright.
You know?
And Esau's going to have a buffet in that time because he's going to try to eat you.
Not just Esau, mostly Jake. Because Jake can't even last a few days. You know, can't even last a few hours. Just like the brother say.
But I'm talking about the pleasure of Esau. Esau
Yo, Esau eating fucking raw flesh, bro.
Esau will eat your bone marrow. Esau will pick out of that. Make soup out of it, make shakes out of it.
Stop.
You know what I'm talking about? You know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Oh my God. So continuing, it says, second, you know, when people see us when we're laughing, they see it like we're not even taking it serious, but we absolutely are taking it seriously. You know, because you know we're gonna be laughing in that day, because you people, we told you. You know, and when you laugh and scoff at us now, when that day comes, you ain't gonna be laughing. That laughing is gonna turn to crying. Your scoffing is not. It's gonna turn to seriousness. In that day. But we are absolutely being serious with you people, because you people are stupid, man. And yes, the men of old even called the people during that time stupid. But not using the word stupid because they had other words. Like vipers. You know, you liars, hypocrites, fools.
Look at them, they're crazy.
You know?
Don't listen to them. You know?
The men of old didn't use the words that we do now. Because they didn't have the words that we do now. But they still called you dumb asses. They literally said that in the scriptures. Dumb asses. They're as dumb asses. Because dumb just means fool, foolish, stupid, you know? And ass means donkey. Because you're a stupid donkey. You know? All people are dumb asses. Alright?
Spanish, I would say in Spanish. Es un burro estúpido. Burro es donkey.
Yes. So it says, I'm going to repeat it on 22 again. It's, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the others that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy, and the dead shall be cast out as dung. And people are going to be laid out in the streets. Alright? You're going to see women that were just raped and then they were killed. But they still have their pants down. You know? It's going to be bad.
Sure.
People don't even take it seriously now. Because they can still see food on the shelves. But when that day comes, you can't say that we didn't tell you so. Because when that day comes, you shall know that a prophet's been among you. And what angers your spirit, you're gonna remember back, and you're gonna be like, why didn't I listen? You know? But at the end of the day, all of this has to happen. Why? Because it's a core amendment. You know? And that's part of the good news. Yahawashi, with this word in calls Jesus Christ. He's the one casting this down. From his father. With his father, actually. You know? Yahawashi is casting this down. Casting this kingdom down. Casting you people down. For your high statues. For your high for your high places. Yeah, I got more. So it says that the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. And it is, that's how it's going to be. You're going to see the New York City streets empty. You know? You're going to see dead bodies everywhere.
It's gonna stink. It's gonna really smell.
Nobody's going to have time to bury the bodies and to mourn for them. So if a man just lost his daughter, he can't stop. When he's running, he can't stop. When a man lost his son, he can't stop. You know? And vice versa. So continue it a little bit more.
People will be vomiting. Like the stench will be horrific.
And there shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. And that's ultimately the full-on end. You know? And especially when the martial law hits and stuff like that, man, you ain't gonna see no one out here, you know, to work. Alright? Anybody out here at curfew, beyond curfew times, you're gonna be shot on sight. Alright? But ultimately, when shit hits the fan,
Arrested or shot.
yeah, arrested or shot, most likely shot.
Because when they get arrested, they're never gonna be seen again.
It's
Like-
taking concentration.
That's it.
And the military is gonna try to monitor the food as well.
They monitor-
They're gonna ration it, and if you don't meet their requirements, you're not getting food.
They're gonna monitor where you live, you know, from time to time, to see if to see if everything is okay according to their eyes, or if
Yeah.
you're hiding any weapons, or if you have some kind of resistance going on, whatever. You know, they're gonna come in as they wish, in and out.
Yeah, you can read it.
This is Luke 21:9. But when you shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass. But the end is not by and by. Then said he unto them, nations shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famine, and pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven.
And those signs are ultimately these chariots, ultimately, you know, because the chariots are showing up everywhere. And Esau said himself, but they most likely given a smaller number. But they said there was 144. It's funny how it's 144 sightings over these past 50 years. Ultimately, it was military sightings, not accounting every other sightings, because there's sightings everywhere. But
And they just revealed during that hearing that after the 144 sightings that has been recorded, there was more numbers already appeared during that hearing. So these chariots, they showing themselves more often now, more than ever now. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not Esau is just saying they're pushing that they're a national security threat now. They have to be labeled as such.
in the pestilences, you got this monkeypox going on. There's much more pestilence as well, but they're not speaking on it. All right, like there was not too far back, and also a whole province in China had it was a black plague breakout, but now they don't speak on it because they don't want the people to know, so they don't want them to panic, and they also don't want them to read the scriptures and try to say that's prophecy, because they don't want to hear that word prophecy. They also don't want the prophets of doom, as they dub us, to speak on it. But we speak on it anyways. Why? Because there's other news outlets that will speak on it, and we can see those news outlets. That's why Esau hates the internet, because the internet is his downfall. It's part of his downfall.
And the internet is pretty much ultimately a sign of Yahawashi that was shot.
Yeah, to see something that's happening on the other side of the earth. You know?
They got think it's this thing.
I damn
The caveman pops.
Yeah, shit.
You know? But a news article I was reading, it says that eventually that started with not to say it completely, members. Let me put it like this: members of the ABC Club, pretty much. Just like
Sodomites.
Just like AIDS, pretty much.
You get 6 sodomites.
Sodomite, yeah, sodomite.
The sodomite men. You know, the sodomite men. It's being spread around by them. You know, monkeypox are nasty. You know, monkeypox are they're like acne, but much worse. They're like boils, but boils that have pus in them instead of oil. That's disgusting. Right? And it's being spread around. It's being spread around by sodomy. Right? At first they said they don't know how it's spreading.
They say they don't know how it's spreading because they say it used to be endemic. Endemic means that it was a local disease that come and go every now and then. But now all of a sudden it just popped out of nowhere.
It started spreading.
Australia.
I think Australia. I think in North Korea, but I'm not entirely sure. They said it was some kind of disease, or something that was going around, and it was killing people.
Yeah, they had that thing going on there still in North Korea. But these plagues, they're just gonna be popping out of nowhere.
Cemetery? Look at it.
It's blindfolded.
It's still glowing. Oh no, that's not true. By the way, now you gotta watch the plane go above the cloud. The sun was shining on it. Like twice. I don't see it. I saw it twice.
One,
I don't know.
One operator here was looking at me like, what?
He missed it. You can tell him clearly. And then I watched another plane go above the sky. I know that there's other planes, but I'm saying specifically that one. Because I didn't see the shape of it or anything. Ah, man, whatever. If it was a cherry call, no, you play Yahawashi, Yahawashi.
All right, this is Luke 21:12. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you.
That hate speech legislation, you know, that hate speech legislation, that's a law. They're trying to have a reason to persecute us.
Because all of a sudden the truth is considered hate now.
Yeah,
now
and they consider us a quote black extremists. But you don't see us doing that. We haven't even touched anybody. We haven't hurt anybody. You know, and we're not black as well. You know,
delivering you up to synagogues and in prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony.
What was that? Go back up there. For my name's sake. You know, and we stand stiffly for the namesake of Yahawashi. All right, and we're going to be persecuted for only that reason, really, because we're heralding it. We're the heralds of Yahawashi, and they don't want heralds. They don't want to be reminded. But at the end of the day, when family of the word hits, that's it, Esau. That's it. When family of the word hits, that's all you. That's all. From there on, you're only going down, and that's it. You're going straight down. All right. When family of the word hits, that's it. That elect the seals, and your destruction is nigh. That's why it says in Ezra. That's why it says the 16th chapter. It says put on your sackcloth and hair. You know, and be sorry. You know why? Because Yahawashi is coming for a beating. He's coming for a pounding, man. He's gonna beat you to utterly to ash, to powder. And you won't even have the ability to even go like this or to even guard yourself. You know, because all of those attacks are gonna go right through your defense.
Sudden destruction.
Sudden destruction. And you won't even be able to put it off. Just like what it says in Isaiah. He won't even be able to put it off. The fire is kindled. You know, he can't put it out.
And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what you shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist.
All right. Oh no, you. But that's a good point. You know, that proves that these these wacky tacky Christians, they try to say that the Bible's in them. All right, but you can't just speak without speaking the words that Yahawashi spoke. You know, into yeah. You know, and the words that Yahawashi spoke, they speak contrary. They speak contrary to what Yahawashi says. That proves that they don't got the spirit which Yahawashi was talking about there.
It still proves to them that they're liars.
Yeah.
And that's a bad light on them. That's they're pretty much telling on themselves that they don't really have the scriptures with it.
Yeah.
They don't
Just
speak
like
according to the scriptures.
the men of old, they use the scriptures to reason with the people. And when they're speaking, they read the scriptures and then they speak. You know? They always get backed up with the scriptures.
And you shall be betrayed by both parents and brethren and kinfolks and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of brothers, even us, majority of the men in our household, which is around this camp, all right. You know, members of our own family can put us, you know, can try to betray us. It's like, but to betray us, you know. But a lot of you brothers as well, you know. But damn, all of this is for Yahawashi's sake. At the end of the day, it is worth it, man. Screw these people. You know, they got the reward, as Yahawashi says. They got the reward. It's only up to us to race for our reward. Run this race with patience. You know? Keep doing this work. Keep doing it. Don't stop. Run the race with patience. Don't worry about, you know, all these other people, who's going to betray you, who's not. Don't even put mind to it. You know? We should be occupied in prophecy. And looking at these prophecies as checkpoints closer and closer to the kingdom. Because that's the good news that Yahawashi has given us. And that we are to prophesy, we are to preach. And that's what we are doing. The destruction of this kingdom, man.
And you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. That's happening now.
Yeah.
But,
Even it's gonna pick up. You know, this world got the famine, death, and destruction that's gonna be picking up. You know, but we got famine of the word that's gonna start picking up, and the persecutions that's gonna start picking up for ourselves. You know.
but there shall not an hair of your head perish.
But there shall not be a hair on your head that shall perish. That's why he says in Wisdom of Solomon, the third chapter, it says the righteous are on the hand of Yahawashi. You know, and they shall no torment shall touch them.
In your patience possess ye your souls. And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
And that's Jacob's trouble. That's ultimately, you know, now. But yeah, this is talking about when after Yahawashi, damn it, basically the beginning of the fall of the Israelites, before we started being scattered amongst Africa and taken captive in all of this. This is way before it. Well, ultimately, the prophecies that were told, it says all of this shall not come to pass until they're falling away first. And that falling away is what we fell away as a people. Ultimately, went into slavery and everything. All right, we completely lost ourselves. But it says, in that land they shall remember themselves. They shall remember themselves in the land of their captivity. And you call upon my name. And that's when these things start coming to pass. So into the second Ezra as well. And second Ezra chapter 13 as well. Or was it not 13? It was 9. But let's hit up Alright, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3. I think we'll close up on that. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 1, it says, but the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahweh, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise they seem to die, and the departures take up. Oh shit! Slack is. Oh my gosh, I heard. My throat's dry. It says, but the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahweh, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise they seem to die. They seemed to die, and the departures taken for misery. And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace, especially when we're persecuted. When we're persecuted and be taken up and stuff like that, they're gonna try to mugshot us and everything like that. They're gonna think that we're gonna be crying like, why is this happening to me? But we're gonna be like, yeah, this has to happen.
You know what?
Call line like Yahawashi Yahawashi.
Might as well smile for the picture.
Smile for the picture.
Might as well smile for the picture.
Man, you guys are done. You guys are done, man. So continuing, it says, for though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is the hope full of immortality. Because we know Yahawashi Yahawashi got us. Even in that situation, we are thinking about how's Yahawashi Yahawashi going to deliver us. And you get curious. How's he going to do it? Because random things can happen, what seems to be random to you. But it can deliver you out of that situation. Who knows, the chariot, like you were being transported and the chariot just shows up. It makes everybody freeze, like that one testimony that one guy had, where they were testing a rocket, and a chariot showed up, and the chariot, there were soldiers and dogs running over to the chariot, getting ready to attack the chariot, and the chariot just did like a beam of light, and they froze in place, like, in place.
Which that actually happened in 1989. That was
yeah.
Chariot landed in some Russian part.
And the dogs froze in place as well, like in midair.
Yeah, there was a kid crying because they saw these giant, what they described, giant beings, or whatever, they're angels, and they were just looking.
That's so cool. I can't help it. That's so badass.
And the kid was and the angel just like, the kid just froze, and the kid disappeared. And whatever they did, and they went back in the chariots and went up. Minutes later, the kid reappeared again.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the kid didn't remember anything.
Like, so continuing, it says, for though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is the whole full of immortality, and having been a little chastised,
they shall be greatly rewarded. For Yahweh proved them and found them worthy for himself. Why? Because even when we're in that situation, we still have hope in Yahweh, why Yahweh shot. That they would deliver us. Because we do this work so that we can show us our faith towards Yahweh Bashim Yahawashi. And that he told us to do this. And while we're on our normal days, we're still doing the work. By doing what? By following the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. Because by following the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, we show our faith. Alright? And going through the troubles and stuff like that. Alright? It's just for a little while. And we already understand that. Because because there's still prophecies that still have to come across. And those prophecies are what? That Yahweh said that his men shall eat and they shall be hungry. His men shall drink and they shall be thirsty. You know?
They got the ultimate prophecy of MOTV.
And just like what Yahweh says, like you continue. I say that again.
MOTV, that's a major prophecy still coming.
Yeah.
And ultimately the fire from heaven, pretty much. ICBM mystery.
Yeah.
This kingdom. Queendom.
Yeah.
Tutti frutti kingdom.
So continuing, it says, having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For Yahweh proved them and found them worthy for himself. As gold in the furnace hath he tried them, and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever. And that's part of the good news, man. That's part of the good news. Oh, that was good. You know, that's part of the good news. We shall have dominion over the people. You know? And that we shall be kings over them. Why? Because of the work that we're doing now. It's forging us to be as kings. You know? And these prophecies are nothing but a mere checkpoint for each one until the kingdom of heaven comes. When Yahweh sets it over one that is profitable. For you wacky-tacky Christians, you don't understand what the good news is.
You know,
right?
The more we endure, pushing this truth while everything's like falling apart, the more we level up.
The more we level up, yeah.
You know?
Because we're going to shine to and fro like sparks among the stubble. Or run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. So continue, and it says, they that put their trust in him shall understand the truth. Such as be faithful and love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, for he hath cared for his elect. So that vocab was actually trying to say, oh, there's a bro. This dude is an idiot because he doesn't understand what spirituality is. You know why? Because he's a heathen. And men of flesh cannot understand the men of the spirit. You know, that's why it says grace and mercy is towards his saints. So who are the saints? The Israelites. Alright? You must be a spiritual Israelite to be a physical Israelite. Alright? You must be of the line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to even have the spirit of an Israelite in you. You don't understand the lineage in the line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, that's why it says, in Isaac shall thy seed be called. But ultimately, that's another subject. But, you know, these heathens, they don't understand the gospel. They don't understand the good news. What good news is it for them? Why do they seek the day of the Lord? When the day of the Lord is darkness and not light, oh, very dark, and no brightness in it.
You know what? Even if they let's say a heathen just understood, he's gonna be even more hurt because it's not for him.
It's not. Yeah, that's why it says the nations were mad.
Right.
You know, like damn. They want what Jacob got. They want to have that mercy, but they ain't gonna have that mercy. Why? Because they didn't think the latter end of their choices. They agreed with Esau to put Israel in no more remembrance, and now they want mercy all of a sudden. And that's why it says they're gonna put on sackcloth and hair and be sorry over their children. Why? Because their children are gonna suffer the consequences of their damn decisions. And the children are the same as their fathers. Why? Because they are their fathers in reincarnation. And now they're going to suffer the latter end of their decision, of their choice. You know?
That's the thing that we, you know,
The day of Jerusalem is coming up, man.
the elect went through hell so they can get to heaven. You know, for these heathens, they went through heaven. And now they got to go through hell. You know, because their heaven is just temporal. Our heaven is forever.
Ultimately,
Esau, like, you know.
God damn. Even in the kingdom, it's going to be hell for Esau. Why? Because righteousness is hell to him. Because his education was the transgressions of the law, statutes, and commandments.
And Esau's heaven is still a broken heaven because there's still Esau down there at the bottom too. They're going through crap, which that's why they consider white trash. But they're down there, and, you know, there's certain heathens down there too. Because
like
Esau don't care about his own.
just
He
like-
just want to make
Just how Elder
money, you know.
Elder Apostle Gabar says. You know, he says, you know, you Edomites, this is your kingdom. Don't knock on the door of the Rothschilds. Say that you want a piece of the blessing. Like, it's your world. Well, you're in that situation because you're your higher ups, and that's fucked up. You know, that is fucked up. Because in the kingdom, the higher ups, which is Yahawashi on down, you know, with 144,000 on down, you know, they're going to have blessings, and so is the lowest Israelite, because the lowest Israelite going to be as King David.
It's all going to be in righteous.
And that's going to be, that is big, bro. Like every man's going to have their own house. Every man's going to have their own family, household, their own land, their own everything, their own. No taxes, nothing, man. All right? You ain't gonna have land tax. You won't be taxed for your food and stuff like that. You know, you still gotta pay for made meals and stuff like that if you want. And so want somebody to cook for you or anything like that. But you ain't even gonna have service. Even the lowest chick is gonna have Edomite service. You know, any other heathen service. Right? So continue with this. So I'm gonna repeat it again. It says, "They that put their trust in Him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with Him." And this is how we're being faithful in love of Yahawashi Yahawashi, by doing this work. All right, being amongst the Akim, you know, doing your lessons, doing what you can in your office that you were given. All right, so continuing, it says, what is that? "For grace and mercy is to His saints, and He hath care for His elect." And Yahawashi Yahawashi has care for His elect. It says, not a hair on your head shall be harmed. You know, not a hair on your head shall be harmed. Because Esau's going to try to put his hands on you. He's going to try to harm you. You know? But continuing, it says, "But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken Yahweh. For whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable." That nurture is the discipline of the law. Right? Despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain. And that is a fact. Because who's going to deliver you in that coming day? If you're gonna despise the wisdom of Yahweh Yahawashi and the nurture, which is law, statutes, and commandments, and basically now under Yahawashi, because the law, statutes, and commandments, we're now shackled to Yahawashi. So that nurture is coming from Yahawashi now, because He adopted us. That's why we cry, "Abba, Father." All right. doing your reasonable service, you know. And people don't, you know, like, yeah, I forgot what I was saying. So continuing, it says, for whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain, and their labors are unfruitful, and their works are unprofitable. Their wives are foolish, and their children are wicked. Their offspring is cursed. Wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which had not known the simple bed. She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls. Blessed is the eunuch with his hands have brought no iniquity, nor imagined wicked things against Yahweh. For unto him shall be given a special gift of faith, inheritance of the temple of Yahweh, and more acceptable to his mind. And those are the men, women, and children that have not bent the knee to Baal. You know, ultimately, that have not committed the fornication of wickedness after learning this truth, having their minds renewed through Yahawashi by the washing of the word. All right. So continuing, it says, for glorious is the fruit of the good labors, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away. It says, as for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection, and the seed of the unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. For though they live long, yet shall they be nothing regarded, and their last age shall be without honor. Or if they die quickly, they have no hope, neither comfort in the day of trial. For horrible is the end of the righteous generation. And this is the last generation, man. And that's why it's talking about the children of the adulterers. You know, the children of adulterers ultimately is the 2/3 of Israel. It's like the 2/3 of Israel, just like where Yahushua says, ye are your father the devil. You know? The less your father ye shall do. He was a murderer from the beginning. You know? He was a murderer from the beginning.
You notice how they're calling it now in the media? This generation, they're calling it Generation Z.
Generation Z.
Like the last generation.
Yeah, this is the last generation. All right. So continuing. Actually, I'm gonna read Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 now, and I'm gonna close up on that. I'm gonna read a little bit of this. Oh, you got it? Oh yeah, you get it.
I had this. Just to jump Luke 21 and 27. Luke 21 and 26. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glories. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption is drawing nigh.
Yeah, I see what you got down. Because, yeah.
This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account for his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
And why is that? Because those the instrument of our salvation are the chariots of Yahawashi, what they call what they code name the UFOs, the UAPs. You know, people think that there's big head green short aliens in there. Where have you learned that from? You learned that from the devil himself, right? The reason they even give him a big head is because and the reason they when they show them as short is because it's a mockery, and the big head is mocking their afros, right? Because they're large dark-skinned men, all right, spiritual men with afros, so they mock them, showing that as if they got big heads, and they're short, but they're actually super tall. I'd say about the height of this, probably even taller. You know, that's this window up here. but probably even taller, probably at the end of that black, the black paint. But you know,
That football game.
they're really huge. Huh?
Football game shows.
Oh yeah, that angel in the midst of it might even be Yahawashi. Probably just manifested himself there, just so the brother could see it. It's just for it to be spread amongst the Akim. Ah man, that's so old though. Holy crap. Damn. When I saw that, I got goosebumps. I'm like, whoa!
For some reason,
Like we felt it.
It stands out.
That just like what it says, you shall shine to and fro like sparks among the stubble. Same with Yahawashi. He stood out in the midst of that entire crowd. He was looking at the camera, and you know that was the afro because he turned his head like this. He turned his head, and you can see the beards, and then you can see a big ass afro, but it was all white, like glowing white, no blemish, nothing. And his beard was just glowing white as well.
It's like somehow that defensive stuff.
Yeah, and then when he looked at the camera, he was like looking at the camera while it was moving. Like it'll be hard to spot the camera out there when you're out there. But he was looking straight at the camera. And you can't even see his eyes.
You couldn't even see his eyes.
It was creepy. It was terrifying sight. But it was badass. You know, I'm pretty sure that if that was an angel, he's probably like, damn, stop. Stop. I don't know. But, you know, the instrument of our salvation is the so-called UFOs, the UAPs. And that's why it's the strangeness of his salvation. It's strange to these people because it's so far beyond what they look for. They would never expect a UFO, an alien ship, to beam up men that call themselves prophets.
And you know, alien means foreign.
Yeah, alien means foreign.
It's not of this realm.
That's why the extraterrestrial means beyond terrestrial, beyond the earth.
When Yahawashi say, it's not of this world, he's basically saying he's foreign. He's not with this world. He's alien to this world.
Yeah.
Pretty much, he's not with this world.
And the reason people are going to have an anguish of spirit is... Oh, you want to read that part?
Yeah.
The next part after that?
I have to read it again because I got something there.
What?
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't read the rest of it. Why can you say? So far beyond all that they look for. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish and spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, in a proverb of reproach. We fools account his life madness, and his end to be without honor.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the point there, you know, that that's most likely going to be happening when shit's already hitting the fan, you know, and since there's so much death and destruction everywhere they look this way, death and destruction. Look over here, death and destruction. Over there, newly created creatures, you know, going like making shrieking sounds and they got creepy ass eyeballs, like glowing eyes and shit like that in the midst of the dark.
Like wretches.
You know, and you know, you see in the window, you see something up there, and it's going like just two red glowing eyes, you know, and
Probably had Chicago running around.
but if for some reason around this man,
Even human shape.
if for some reason around this man, it's safe around him. Why is it safe? And then he sees that man being beamed up by a chariot, you know, and he recognized that man. Wait a minute, that was that man that was preaching on the streets with those weird garments, and he's still wearing that weird garment, you know, being beamed up. And since everywhere is death and destruction, he wants to go with him, but he can't. And that's why he's having that anguish of spirit. Like, why? Like, why was it him? Was it really them? It was them that were saying the truth all along. The ones that we persecuted, the ones that we said that were hate speech.
In the corner
You
of
know?
his eyes, when let's say that guy, he looked around and he see his former pastor that church he used to go to, and he just fell on him or something.
No. One of the newly created creatures that eating him.
Probably,
He's
no, not eating.
He's like,
Kissing.
oh yeah, give him a kiss. Oh, he's running from him. He's running from him. You see the creature, he's like, give him a kiss. You know? He's like, what?
Probably one of them creatures.
That's a small sound for a creature. But, yo, but at the end of the day, this work that we're doing, it is absolutely worth it. It is absolutely worth it. Just as Yahawashi says, these people have the reward. All right, anybody else got any more precepts? I can see you guys like don't got nothing. So, you gonna all right, so yeah, so we're gonna close up. All right, I'm about you weapon Yahawashi.
Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahushua B'Hashem Kakurash.
Alright, I want to once again give double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, Shalom, the sincere brothers out there teaching the truth and sincerity. Alright, and peace and blessings to you brothers. If anybody's soon in, peace and blessings upon you as well, and upon your households. But Lord willing that this Kent session was edifying unto you brothers and exhorted unto your brothers. Lord willing it was faithful, because this is pretty much our duty out here. These wacky techie Christians, they don't understand what the true gospel is, because the gospel isn't just good. It isn't good for this kingdom. All right, this is bad news for the kingdom, but it's good news for the Israelites, because our kingdom's coming, and it's going to be ruled by Yahawashi and ruled in righteousness. And if we do this work, and we do a reasonable service unto Yahawashi, that we may enter in onto the grace, holy and acceptable unto the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and that we may be joint heirs with Yahawashi. And this is what we're working for. Let no man take away your crown. Let none of their incredulity or anything like that trouble you, because Volcam ain't gonna stop. And none of these other men are going to stop, because it's prophecy that they ain't going to stop. But there's nothing they can do against the truth or for the truth, because the very same topic that they bring out, the brothers make lessons upon it, and you are edified off of it. And that in itself is faith boosting. All right, so there's nothing they can do against the truth or for the truth. So I'm gonna leave it off the Shema prayer. So Shema Yasharallah, Yahweh Allahaynawa, Yahweh Achad,
Admon Baba.
Shalom Akiyam, Shalom.
I changed the power bank. There.